So today I solved another problem with 3D printing. Very, very excited with this one. Okay, so how many of you actually do Zoom calls? Say you're doing Zoom calls for work. Say you're doing Zoom calls to connect with friends. Whether or not you use Zoom, you may actually use like a FaceTime, right? You have your FaceTime camera. Now with Apple, since I use Apple, but this is good for any phone because I'm sure Zoom can connect to not just Apple, but it can also connect to other cameras, meaning phones with a camera. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, a couple years old, battery on it sucks, but the phone still works and I'm really not like rushing to replace it. The biggest issue I've had is whenever I'm on a Zoom call, I don't want to have to open my computer when I'm using my big monitor here. And I'll show you a clip of the monitor in a few minutes. My issue is when you're using your computer, meaning your Mac computer, your laptops, when you use them in clamshell mode, meaning it's closed, but you're getting the picture from your external monitor, you don't have access to the camera on the screen. So how do you solve that problem? Well, most people will set up their phone with this camera facing them. So they'll have this set up like this, and your image of whoever's on the Zoom call and or FaceTime call or phone call, video call that is, you'll have your camera facing you somewhere, meaning your phone facing you. This is called continuity camera with Apple products. They like to make taglines and names for everything. God bless them. Great, good job. The thing that this solves is when I'm using my camera on my phone for my Zoom calls, the problem I'm having is there's no spot for me to hang this phone in front of the screen and still be able to see the screen. So I've been thinking of a few different ideas, and what I did was I wound up printing out one of these, somebody else's design, really cool design. The issue with this is the angle is too great. So when I put this anywhere on a flat surface right around my computer level, it's aiming more up this way as opposed to this way. So how I'm solving that now is I created the continuity camera holder. Okay, so this is just a support structure inside. I'm gonna remove that. A lot of support they had to build into this to keep these looking. Yeah, maybe need to clean up a bit, but that's okay. The cleaning up is not really the thing here. Beautiful. So due to the design, it's going to need a little bit of cleaning up, and that's all right because and that's just a simple front. I just wanted to get some kind of something in the front. All right, so I can already tell that this piece, one of the center pieces, was not supposed to come off. So the print failed in such a way there's supposed to be an additional lip here. Now, where is it? I don't know because it's not in any. Here it is. This was supposed to be on there. So first print failed, so what I'll have to do is make this taller and thicker, meaning this piece is going to have to be as thick as this at least. Now let's just see if my fit was close, and then we can adjust from there. So I think the fit would have been good there. And now the real test is the phone. Does the phone fit? No. Well, actually it does, but okay, and this is the goal for the continuity camera. So I already know I gotta make it wider. I'm gonna have to make it wider this way, thicker on this wall and this wall, and I can keep the same cutouts. What I'll most likely do is keep the center one solid and maybe make these cutouts just a touch shorter so I have less waste here. Or actually, yeah, I mean the support, but I want a little bit stronger so I can always put a cross beam in the middle. But overall, the goal is to have this here, and it will be a continuity camera for Zoom calls to where my phone will sit just like that, and it's gonna, from friction, it will hold it, just from friction alone. So the good thing is my measurements were pretty close. If anything, this wall, this curve that I created is the same curve as the screen. This wall will just have to come up just a couple of millimeters to make it a little tighter. I figure that's about from that to that. Well, I can measure with this. If this is 3, it doesn't fit. So maybe another millimeter forward on that wall. Now, my first iteration, I tried to bore out some design, bore out some holes here, just to give it a little bit of flair. I learned how to use the spline curve, which, oh my goodness, in Fusion 360, really cool. And I was able to match the exact curvature of the external monitor. I have one of these curved monitors. It's not something fancy, it's an Amazon special, but it's really, really good for having a bigger view. I'm getting older, my eyesight isn't what it's, all it's cracked up to be as it was. But at the end of the day, why wouldn't you want to look at something that's 32 inches as opposed to something that's only 14? So I use everything through the external monitor. Problem is my Zoom calls. So I designed this one. I bored out the centers, and immediately when I went to take it apart and take out the support structure that was put inside, this cracked right off. Okay, no good. Too small, too thin. Let's see what we got for round 2. Okay, so we made this a little bit bigger. And we'll do a comparison on the size here. Alright, this is version 1. Cool design. Little too thin on my second wall there, as you can see, and problems. So, version 2 is a lot beefier. I tightened up the gap here just a little bit. I moved it 1 mil or 2 mil that way, and then I moved this one 2 mil that way, I believe, to make this wall thicker, and then I moved this wall out. This might be tight with the phone. I think it's going to be a little, yeah, it's too tight with the phone, so that's already going to have to be adjusted. Let's see how the fit is here. Wow, the fit is perfect. Holy crap. The fit is absolutely perfect. Let's see if I take the phone out of the case. Okay, so out of the case it's fine, but we don't want it like that. We want to be able to keep our cases on because most people have a case on. Cool, this is really, really functional, and this is something that I will use every single day. So from that to this. And keep in mind, this is a rough design here, so I haven't fine-tuned my final design, my final, outside and everything. I had thickened the walls, but I forgot to thicken this wall and move it out, and reduce the inner wall and move it in. So what happened was, this part fits perfect on the monitor, but this does not fit the phone unless you have the case off. I don't want to have to take the case off on and off every single time I do a Zoom call, especially since I'm on Zoom calls almost every day. So what are we going to do? Run without a case? They're pretty scratch proof, but I don't want to destroy the phone, especially when it comes down to when I do get the new models. I always resell the previous model and get a premium for that, and that helps offset the cost of the new phone. Version 3 is here. So we're going to test this one together. This is the version 3. Now, let's hope, and this will be the first time, I can already tell it looks bigger. I can feel it's bigger. Problem is it going to fit? This part, I haven't changed a thing. This part is still the same. So this will fit on the monitor. Now will it hold the phone? Yes. So the beauty of this is it's holding the phone in an upright fashion as opposed to this. If you look at the difference, now I'm holding this perfectly flat. You can see the angle that this produces, and this is as level as I can get it here. No exaggeration. And this is for your, your docking at night. I like this at night because when you have your phone like this at night, it will give you a very cool looking clock, you have a bunch of different features. I like that setup. When it comes to the Zoom calls, if you look at the angle of the camera, like I mentioned, as level as I can be. I was trying to find the level to show you guys. You can see the really, really heavy angle here. So, how much of an angle do we have on this? Very, very, very little. And once it's set, it's not going to be wobbling back and forth, meaning once you have this connected to the lower half of your external monitor. So watch this. Let's spin this around and let's put this bad boy on and see what we get. All right, so I didn't really want to move the tripod simply because I wanted to get this one up to you guys just to show you how anything is possible and how regardless of what your skill level is, I've been using Fusion 360 for maybe 6 weeks and I'm already designing some really cool shit. Here is another thing I designed that I really, really like. This is a custom built bin, right? This is my little purge bin, your little poop bucket, whatever you want to call it. I was using this and now I designed this all on my own. It was a very long print because of the, many different designs here. My only issue is it is a touch too tall to when I go under here, and I'll show you, even the puppies are interested. What do you think, guys? Cool? All right, when I go under here, this fits really well. The problem was when this arm went all the way down, it was pressing on here. This was pressing a little bit, but it was the body of the actual axis here. So this is great. I'm gonna redesign it and drop it down a little bit so I can actually put that onto BambuLab Maker World. For right now, I'm just gonna use a riser so I don't have to reprint it like right this second because it was such a long print. So here we go, continuity camera version 3. Oh, please fit. What happened here? Okay, no, okay, good. I was gonna say, all right. I was gonna prove myself wrong right on camera. That would have been great, right? All right, so as you can see, it's a very snug fit. Okay, biggest issue that I see already, and I'll show you guys. It's not really an issue, but you can see from my first version, that was the correct width here. What happened was when I extended out the body, look at the body. Okay, so this was the first one. When you look at the body, that's about a, 15, give or take 10 to 15 mil difference on width. So this concave point spline there, my concave curve, my S curve, it is now a little bit wider since I widened out this. I forgot to remove this curve on both sides and then remake that curve after I extended the body. I had it at 0.75 degree bend. For some reason, and I'm looking at both of them, for some reason, they look very, very similar. I don't see where I screwed up, but I can already tell that, is this one wider? No, okay. So in any case, this one is a little snugger fit, but snug is better than not, because check this out. As we just get that right in there, look at this. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm gonna show you guys how cool this actually is. So boom, we are looking at the screen. Let's go to FaceTime. Let's go to our Apple apps. Let's go to FaceTime. Bazooka. So as you can see, the continuity camera is at the perfect angle right there. I mean, that is insane. And look, Apple's little, oh, focus on this, focus on this. So check this out. When I put this up the other way, I like it lower. Personally, I like it lower. So I like the camera pretty much right where my eyes are gonna land. I think it's amazing how you're able to create these products just out of some filament and some thinking. So let's get this back around. I can't say enough about these printers. I am so excited that I actually am able to create things every single second now. Like I have these ideas, oh wait, I can build something for that. I'm gonna be building a cup holder for the desk. So I don't ever have a cup on the desk because most of the time I either have a, pretty expensive camera gear on the desk if I'm transferring files. I have my phone, I have my iPad, I have my keyboard. Yeah, they're not crazy expensive stuff, but at the end of the day, I don't want to destroy them with liquid. There's plenty of designs out there. I want to make my own. Why not? This is something that I know absolutely will be a product that I will be promoting and selling. I'm actually going to put this file on MakerWorld as a licensable file, and I'm also going to put it on Printables as a licensable file. So one of the subscribers, we've been chatting via email, and he's been telling me about all different things as he's printing. He sends me pictures of his setup. I'm just like, it is a really cool community of people who are just thinking of ways to make products or thinking of ways to solve problems. This is like mind-blowing that these things are actually available to the public and you can go out and create whatever you want. So this is a very simple solution to a very real world problem that I encounter every single day when I get on my Zoom calls, and I want the perfect angle each and every time. I don't want to have to worry about adjusting. I've got to put this over here because my computer is here. I've got to put this over here because I have the camera here. And the next thing you know, you're 5 seconds before the Zoom call starts, or you're about 5 minutes before, and you're not focused on what your outcome is for that call. Be it a sales call, a team call, whatever the case is. You want to be able to be there and be present. You don't want to have to be worrying about your gear or your camera. The other cool part about this, and I think this is one of the best parts, is I already own a phone. It has a very good camera and I can use it for my Zoom calls. Why would I want to spend more money on a separate camera that I have to connect to the top of my monitor? It's going to be at way too high of an angle, and these are my gripes, maybe not everybody's. I have to connect it to the top of the monitor. It's way too high of an angle. It costs money to get anything above a 1080 picture. This is a 4K quality camera. It's giving me 4K visuals of myself and my background. It has nothing to do with wanting the very best image. It's, hey, the image is very good and I have the phone already. And that's kind of my mindset. Think about products you can create. Here's another one. And I'm working on the spring. I made the spring last night. We've got a toilet paper roll downstairs, right? We've got a bathroom downstairs. It's been missing the holder for a very long time. This is a $2 item at best, and every day we go to the shopping store. We never remember, right? We come home, by the time you're using the bathroom, you realize there's no holder. So the roll is not on anything. So I took the one upstairs, I took the measurements, and I created my own, right? 2 bodies, 2 separate components in a Fusion 360, and they work. Look, it has a bit of pressure. So if you look, but it doesn't hold pressure. It's not pushing out. So when you squeeze, when you're replacing a roll of toilet paper, I'm sure everybody can relate to this. When you replace a roll, you generally put this in, you've got the roll kind of grasped in your hand, you get it lined up, you push, and this ejects out to the other hole, or you maneuver it until it does. This works, but every time you move, since there's no spring pressure inside, it's not giving the full pressure. Just like I said, very simple object, simple thing that I know I need in the house here, that we all need, and boom, I was able to create it. I was able to create a spring yesterday in Fusion, and I'm going to print it today to test its flexibility and how stiff I need the spring or how loose I need the spring. The overall thing, and as you can see in my enthusiasm here, is these things are absolutely amazing. If you can think of it, you can print it. We know this is not a very large plate, as you can see. Let me just tighten this so I don't lose angle. This is a very small plate. I'm not a fan of the fact that we're not using metric here in America, so I'm with you. All right, so this is 7 1/4. Usable space, 7 1/4. I would say the usable space before it gives you an error in your slicer is most likely just under that. I would think your usable space is probably 6 3/4 by this, since this is where it rubs its little test. You know, it purges out a little bit, gets its flow rate and everything. You're not getting a print on there, so your print actual space is anywhere between 6 1/4, 6 3/4, and 6 3/4. You don't need the largest bed. You don't need the largest printer. Yes, do I want the bigger one? I should have gotten the bigger one. Sure, I probably should have. Do I need it? No. Do I need it right today? No, absolutely not. Can I continue to use this one? Absolutely, and I absolutely recommend the A1 Mini to anybody who's just getting started. Look, you can get in this thing for like 200 something bucks without the AMS light, without the 4-color. If you want multicolor and you can't afford the AMS, just do your pausing in your slicer. You can pause at whatever layer, very similar to how I did this. I paused at layer like 125 and I said, okay, push the red at 125 to 250. So you can technically do that exact same thing. You don't need to have the multicolor. You can pause, swap out your filament, and be done with it. Long and short, this is the way to go, in my opinion, because it's just a better price. You're gonna pay more for this separately than you would if you bought them all together. How much more? Not much difference, but you're talking, you know, possibly shipping pay, you know, depending on where you are, shipping could be included in all of that. These things are fantastic. You can create solid problems. You can create solid solutions for problems. This is a solution to a problem that I have had every single day now for months. This is a solution I've had to not start taking Tupperware from the kitchen and be able to have something that actually purges out and makes it look nice. I mean, this is a very cool design. Anything is possible with these things. That's where I'm coming from. Get up in there, get a 3D printer. Hey, throw it in the comments. Let us know what kind of printer you use. And share this channel with the community. I'm really trying to push to hit 1,000 subscribers in this channel before the end of this year. And let me tell you something about the 1,000 subscribers. I want to see 1,000 people who are into 3D printing talking about what they print in the comments and sharing their designs to a community. The goal is to connect with you all. This is so much fun, and I just like, I'm like a kid when I get with this thing. It is really, really exciting to be able to just come up with an idea on the spot, take out my caliper tool, start measuring, throw it into Fusion 360, design it really fast, whip it up, throw it in the slicer, and it's printing. Thank you so much for checking out the channel today. This is the 3rd installment of learning 3D printing. So if you have learned something today, or if you have some ideas of your own, or if this is something that's up your alley and you want to continue to kind of learn along with me, or you're a pro and you want to throw me some advice, toss it in the comments, subscribe, like, and please hit the notification bell so you get notified for every video that comes out. Other than that, get back to creating things, go print it, and throw it and, you know, share it with the world. That's it for me. Have a good one. Take it easy. I'll see you in a few days.